Hi, this is Philip at Chateau Avensac. Today I'm currently in the hall d'entrée, or the entrance hall. But there's some noise going on in the salle à manger, or the dining room. I think Steven's in there. Let's go check it out. Ça c'est plus facile avec la plus grande trowel ou le même? Le même.
À peu près pareil.
Okay.
Hello.
So we are in the dining room, and I just wanted to show we're just putting a coating of lime and sand. It's lime and sand plaster on this wall. This is the exterior wall of the dining room, and there's going to be woodwork here. We had taken the old woodwork off, and it's being restored. Well, it can be restored, and I'm going to put it back. But in order to help manage some of the moisture in this wall, and this wall does get a lot from rain, we are adding a thin layer of lime and sand just to kind of seal it off, or not completely seal it off because the lime will breathe, which is what you want, but just to kind of make it a little more sealed than it was. And this should improve issues with moisture behind the wood panels that we're putting into place. And if you look the side here by the fireplace, you can see an example of the wood paneling that's in this room. So it's the same kind of paneling. The sections are a little wider. They're very narrow on this part of the dining room. They're a little wider on the outside wall. But that's what's going to be going in place here. And so this is just glossing over all manner of building materials. And there's really kind of a convoluted set of building materials here. Obviously the walls are stone, but in the bay windows, these bricks were added. So these weren't original, these bricks were added, probably in an attempt to deal with moisture here. On the other side of it is stone, not a very thick layer of stone, but a little bit of stone. So all this just gets covered up with the lime, just gives us a nice, good surface to help hold some of that moisture back. And earlier today, I was asking Stephen about if the trowel was good, because he was using a smaller trowel, and Mark wanted him to use this one that's a little bit bigger, because later when we're plastering walls, the bigger trowel, it helps make walls smoother and flatter than using a smaller trowel. So he just wanted Stephen to maybe get used to working with the larger trowel. And this was a good spot to do it because this is all going to be covered up, so we don't need to worry about a finished surface in this area because it'll be covered up with the wood paneling. So it was just a chance for him to try out the larger trowel. And when I entered, I asked him, is it better? And he kind of just said, really, it's the same. C'est pareil. Anyway. You'll also note that Stephen's all bundled up because it's a bit cold in the chateau today. C'est froid aujourd'hui. Un peu. Mais c'est plus froid dehors.
Ouais, aujourd'hui, ouais.
Oui.
Mais des fois, c'est l'inverse.
Ah.
Des fois, il fait meilleur dehors que dedans. C'est vrai, oui.
So it's colder outside. So although it is cool in here working, it's actually not too bad. But he's working on a lot of cold materials, so he has to bundle up just a little bit. And, so anyway, he's getting this done, and during the week, the man that's doing the woodwork is going to be coming to bring the panels just to kind of fit them. He's not installing them, he's just bringing them to fit them, make sure that they're the right size, and he's going to take some measurements on this wall. Where there used to be a very large wood paneling that went the same height as the doors that are next to it. Take a little step back. So, sorry, there's a big bookcase in the middle of the room. You can kind of see the top corner of a doorway on the left, and then this one right in front of me. And between those two doors was very large wood paneling that went all the way up, same height as those doors. And when we took it off, we found behind it the remnants of that there was paneling behind here. It's kind of interesting. And there's like different layers of paneling. So there was once a shorter kind of wood paneling wainscoting here, and then later the taller one, which is what we have in the rest of the room. And then later, and much later, because the large wood panel that was here that we took down was installed by the previous owner, and so that was probably in the late 50s. The family does not know where it came from. It was clear that it didn't come from this chateau. They don't know where it came from or why their father brought it here, or what the significance of it was that he brought it here. But when that was installed, presumably the paneling that was here was removed. Maybe this paneling was in bad shape, and this is an alternative to do that. I'm not sure. And if I step back just a little bit more and look above the door, you can see there's a kind of rectangular section above the door. There was a large sort of wooden piece there, a little decorative piece that was there. And we noticed today, actually, it was starting to fall off. It was coming out of the wall. So I just took it down until we put it back. But what's interesting is that greenish muddy color that you see behind it is actually wallpaper. So it's clear that that woodwork was added, and the trim to these doors was added later to make them look more grand. And you can kind of see the darker green section of woodwork that was there. That is probably the original door frame, which is just a very simple door frame. And the sort of fancier column-like sides were added later, along with the top piece. And if we look at the other side, come around, you can see on the opposite door, it has the top pieces there. So that's what was there. And I saved it. It's in perfectly fine condition, so it will go back up. It was just starting to fall away from the wall. It was a little bizarre. And what's interesting about that wallpaper is we have that same wallpaper that was behind the mirror in the dining room, which is kind of that, you can see sections of it now there on that wall. It's just above the fireplace. You can see the corner of the fireplace there. And on this section, you can see we took most of it down, the still remnants, but you can kind of see there's a year, it says 1919. So this was written, presumably, they dated the space behind the mirror when they put it up. And at the bottom of it, there's a little drawing. You can kind of see a drawing of the top of the fireplace and the mirror, and there's also some dimensions. You can see some marks here where you see an 8, and on the other side as well. Oops, there you go, like the 8.5. So there's clearly some marks and dimensions that were set when they put that mirror in. And if it's true that this was put in 1919, it's probably that it's possible that the additions to the door frames, the extra fancy moldings and those top pieces to those door frames were added at around the same time, because they're sitting on top of that same wallpaper. So we know that this sort of greenish brown wallpaper is earlier, and that these things were put on top. So it's kind of a little interesting history of the renovation of the chateau that we see as we peel the layers back. But it's just hard to tell, because we don't know that the mirror was done at the same time. We can't be 100% sure that the 1919 is the year, although it probably is. So it's hard to say exactly, but it is kind of interesting. Also, the note above the doorway, you can see a very faint line of the arches just above the door. And that's because on the other side of this, I'm gonna just walk into the entrance hall and come around. You can see that that's the door I just walked through, and there's the arch above it. So you're just seeing a little bit of outline of that arch showing through in the video. Anyway, that was just a quick look at this work going on in the dining room, the salle à manger. Ça c'est le mot pour aujourd'hui. That's the word of the day, le mot du jour. Salle à manger, the dining room, and the work's going on in there.
Oh, hi, it's Judy from Chateau Avensac. Well, it's Christmas time at the Chateau, and, well, Judy has a new job. Philip's really, really busy, and Mark is, well, wherever he is, and that left no one to decorate. And, well, Mark showed me a picture of the Christmas tree from 2 years ago. I guess he's rather well known for them. And he also showed me where there was a massive mound of boxes with 1,600 ornaments in it, and ladders, lots of ladders, and 14 feet in the air, and Judy just doesn't do those kind of things. So I was left to do what I want. And, well, I actually worked for years and years and years in New Orleans for a float company, and we were doing festooning. So I thought, well, why not festoon for Christmas? But it's an awful lot of work, and, well, I think I need to find some help, and, well, you'll see what it looks like in just a few days. Merry Christmas, everyone! This is Judy from Chateau Avensac. You have a great day! Bye!
All right, we have Paul here today. He is just fitting the woodwork for the dining room on the exterior wall. This woodwork was in really bad condition, and so he's just placing it, fitting it, and then he's gonna, finesse it back at the shop and come back to actually install it. So here you can see some brand new pieces that have been started. And here you can see some mix of old and new that he's put into place. So we're just trying to reuse as much of the original woodwork that we have that's usable, and the parts that are rotted or just no good, obviously we have to replace. So it's a little bit of a combination, and here he is, just fitting the pieces to figure out and get them into place. You'll also note that behind them is the lime that Stephen had put on the wall. He actually just finished this the other day, I think yesterday. And this is just to help seal the wall and provide a good surface for this wood paneling to go against. There'll actually be a little bit of a gap between the wall and the paneling, just to allow airflow.
Hair and makeup, please. Hair and makeup. Is the lighting good? Are you okay with the lighting?
Yes, you're in perfect shadow.
So originally, these panels were put up against the wall. So any damp that used to come through the wall would go straight onto the back of the panel and then rot out the panels, which is why we've had to renew some of the panels. So what I've done with these is we've put the panels on and given them 2 coats of really good yacht varnish, so that will stop any water ingress penetrating it over time, because we just end up with the same problem if we just did it as it was before. And then the other thing we've done is I put a batten on here, and we're actually going to set them off of the wall by 20 millimeters to get some air moving there between the panel and the wall, and hopefully that will cure most of the damp issues.
That's what we want to hear.
Yep.
Solving the damp issues.
So obviously we tried to save as much of the original paneling as we possibly could, but some of it was completely gone out, and that panel there, for instance, was completely gone, totally exposed. So this made a new one of those.
So this is all brand new, this panel.
Yeah, that's all brand new, that panel, and it was the same on that one over there.
Right.
Again, because it's an outside wall.
Excellent. And then you can also see the combination of the old and the new woodwork here on the corners, which is nice. I hope you enjoyed our little look at what's going on in the salle à manger, or dining room, prepping those walls to put the woodwork back on. And we're right at that little hill where we're going from tearing things apart to putting them back together. So it's just getting a little bit of a glimmer of what it's going to be like when it's done. So it's a really, I feel like it's a really exciting moment. Very special thank you to our patrons, whose contributions go directly towards the renovation and refurbishment of the Chateau. And to our YouTube viewers, your support is very helpful and we really appreciate it. And also, don't forget to check out our shop at thechateau.com, shop Chateau Treasures. Thank you very much. This is Philip at Chateau Avensac.